Last week we talked about the absence of Orlando Brown. He didn't report to training camp as expected. And we talked about who was going to be replacing him in that role. So we kind of got a little bit of clarity on that. So Coach Andy Reid today said they're going to be rotating a lot of guys through that left tackle spot to see who kind of sticks. And obviously we're without Orlando Brown. We're without your guy, Prince Tego Wanago, Auburn left tackle, played for the Eagles. He's on PUP, as well as Lucas Niang, who's also on PUP. So we're going to be seeing a lot of veteran Roderick Johnson. I think I saw someone on Twitter who's called him Dwayne the Roderick Johnson, who's starting at left tackle today. A little bit about Roderick Johnson for those of you guys who don't know. He's from St. Louis, Missouri, so he is a Missouri boy. He was one of the best linemen coming out of high school, and he was rated like a 4-star recruit. He ended up going to Florida State, where he started almost immediately at left tackle from the onset. He was a first-team All-American, 2-time first-team ACC at left tackle, and he won the Jacobs Blocking Trophy. He was a 5th-round pick coming out of Florida State to the Browns in 2017. They went on to Houston, where he played a lot of right and left tackle, and then went to Miami and was cut after that. And we signed him to our practice squad back in January. So I guess, what do you make of kind of Andy Reid telling us there's going to be a rotation there? And then what do you make of Roderick Johnson being the first guy to start at left tackle? Does that mean we see him as the replacement for Orlando Brown, if we're going to roll with him to start day one of training camp at the left tackle spot?
Well, so, I said this was going to be the issue, right? I said this before. Yeah. This is something that you had to think about. This is really what was presented in front of you coming to training camp, that, OBJ didn't really have to, he had to sign, he could hold out, and he possibly could. Right. And so you got to be prepared for every scenario, contingency plan. And so, I think I think he's going to be all right. I think this rotation that he's talking about, Andy, is he's going to try some guys. He's going to try to see exactly what we have in the left tackle position. And so, he's going to get some fair shots. He's going to get some fair shots to some guys. And we got guys. There's guys there that have some actual game experience. This guy, man, he's I kind of went to him and I started watching a little bit of his tape, watching, his feet. He's got good feet. I mean, he's very athletic. I know they were talking about maybe his technique needs a little work, a little bit of his strength. And I could tell that too. I was watching how he was kind of catching guys. I watched him when he was Houston. I think it was against, oh my gosh, who were they playing? I'm not sure at the time who they were playing. But you could tell that, sometimes when guys get into his body, he needs to go ahead and lock out. And so they need a little bit more of that stoutness of pushing a guy off, as opposed to like a big guy like that getting pushed back to the quarterback, because that's what you don't want to. You don't want to be able to crowd the quarterback where they don't have any lanes and he can't move around. And so he's got to be able to create space. He's got to be able to block guys in space. So if he's getting stronger, and that's the thing about it, he's been here. He's been in the league. You said we got drafted. When was it? Like 2017. So 2017. So he's been in the league, man. So he's got some game experience, but now he's got to get better. If he want an opportunity, he's found one. He's found a position right now that if Orlando Brown Jr. don't come back, this could be his spot. And so I know Andy was talking about there's guys, and there's capable guys on the line all across the board that you can move around, but you don't want to play musical lineman. You just don't want to do that. That's a bad place to be. But I think they got their core guys. They don't want to be put in these certain positions. I know Prince is on PUP. I was thinking he was going to be the guy, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things, the nagging injuries still coming up with this guy. And then, of course, we go to like the Joe, Thuney situation.
Yeah.
Look, and I'm going to say this, okay? And I've said it before, and people could disagree with me all they want to disagree with. But I'm reading Andy. I'm hearing what Andy is saying. He was like, yeah, Joe can do it. And we need Joe to do it, but we don't want to. There's a reason Andy said we don't want to do it right now. It ain't the time right now. And when I said When the guy said last resort, I said, yeah, repeat that. Last resort. Okay. Put Thuney on there. You don't want to give up the integrity of a guy or one side of the line, just to fill a space. And yeah, Thuney can do these things. And it's probably easier because he plays left guard. He just moving out and the same things. He's just blocking in space, just doing these things. But he wouldn't have no problem doing it. That probably wouldn't be his first choice, right? Yeah. But he wouldn't have any problem doing it. But I know Andy, and I'm like me as a coach, if I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, yeah, we can do this. In the depths of situation, we can. That can be our contingency plan for how we handle this situation. We don't want to get there with it. Hopefully we find a guy that can play this position. But if it comes to, at the very end of the last, then we had to make that decision, fine. But it's going to be the absolute last resort before we make that decision. We pull that card. Seriously. And especially if you're thinking about, for the entire season. Hopefully that's not what the case is going to be, right? So, yeah, he can definitely do it. But do you really want him to? That's the question. And I hear everybody keep, bringing his name and stuff like that. No, listen, hold on. Like, y'all need to understand, like, that's not how it works. This, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have guys, like you could have a guy who's a backup quarterback, right? We don't want to use him, right? But we desperately use a guy, then we will, okay? But at the very last resort, hey, we gonna make sure. Hey, are you sure you're okay? How many fingers you got up? Can you see? And how to start tapping him back in the net 2, 3. Put him back in the game. I'm just how they used to do it. I'm just But you know what I'm saying. But you want to make sure that guy's all right. I mean, it's just how it works. It's how it works. And so, I know everybody said Thuney. Oh yeah, you Thuney. Look, man, we don't want to go down that road. We just don't. We don't go. We don't. I'm gonna tell you right. We don't want to go down that road.
Yeah,
pure and simple. And he made it known. Look, and we don't want to do it right now. You don't need to. We don't want to do that. Let's find some guys we got here, right? That's why we brought them in. We brought them in for that situation like that. So that's what I want to say about that, man. Because I'm just hearing so many comments. I'm hearing so many people about playing Thuney and stuff like that, man. I'm just like, man, this, this is the league. It ain't college. College, yeah, he was able to go right tackle and do it and guard and stuff. He played a little bit, of course, up in New England, but 17 games into this, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
We don't know how long this Orlando Brown situation is going to be. And like you said, you don't want to play musical chairs, especially with a guy who is a left guard. You don't really want to move him completely to a different position and then have to fluctuate everything else in the line. I mean, I get it. Spot start when the Bengals game happened, when all those injuries happened with Niang and Orlando Brown. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. But to make him adjust to a totally new position, I don't know.
Right. But you knew it was limited. You knew it was going to be one game. Like, oh shoot, he should be back.
Yeah.
We're already making the timing of it. He's coming back. We're getting him ready. Hey, can you do it for this game? Absolutely. We see what he's going to do. And even then, they looking at. Like, well, that's what we brought Thuney in. That's why I paid him the big bucks, because he is that type of guy. He is that good.
Yeah, for emergency situations.
For the emergency situations, right? I'm not taking it away from him. I mean, shoot, Thuney is a great lineman.
Yeah,
and exceptional.
That's why he's getting paid the big bucks.
Yeah, right. But that's you don't want to make that a long-term, answer, a solution. You just don't. You don't want to make it for the entire season. But if you had to, then so be it. Then, man.
Yeah, I mean, the options we have right now. Let's say, forget Joe Thuney, but you have Roderick Johnson, Jerron Christian, who we talked about last week. Also, another former Texan. Also played. He was with the Washington football team the year Trent Williams left. A lot of Redskin fans and Washington football fans. Big thing about him, slow feet. And he's kind of not the fastest guy at his left tackle position. Footwork was kind of his big thing. I kind of did a little search on him what analyst guys were saying about him, and that was footwork and having slow feet was his big thing. Andrew Wylie also, I think he was playing right tackle for us today, so that's also talking about the musical chairs aspect. And that's the thing too. A lot of people think Darian Kennard could actually make a play for that right tackle spot. If he ends up overtaking that right tackle spot, maybe Wylie can rotate the left tackle spot. I don't know. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, look, I don't know any lineman in the NFL if you're worth your salt, don't feel like you can't do a job they ask you to do. I just don't. I mean, seriously. I mean, these are the way the guys are built, really. The question is, when you go against these guys, can you actually do it? And can you do it consistently? That's the question. And so I like, Guerrero and my man, what you were talking about?
Wylie.
I mean, Wylie, we seen what he was able to do last year. I like Wylie. I think he did tremendous against, So we got capable guys there at camp. And so what you try to do now is get them as much work as possible, okay? As much close to game speed as you could possibly get to get these guys ready. Work on their strength, work on their legs, work on their kick, work on their sets, work on, the communication, work on, the spacing with, where the guard is. And that's the thing about it. When you have Thuney out here, he can help out with that. He can help out with, being guard where he can help, Creed, and he can help out the tackle. And so when you put him out there, now he can only help one. I'm not saying Creed was capable, but, he's a rookie. And so even rookie, Thuney is like, okay, this is what we need to do. He's helping him out tremendously. I mean, that's when you have a guy like that beside you as a rookie, that's what you want. I mean, imagine having Brian Waters and Will Shields beside you. You're like, hey, man, I'm going to be fine, right? So if I mess up, these guys, they got my back. They got me all around. So that's kind of where it is. There's capable guys, man, that to give us some time, see where this thing's going to go. You got to get these guys some work and just keep giving them work, keep giving them work, keep giving them work, keep giving them work. And then after a while, man, you start watching the film, you listen to the coach, you're going through everything that you've been doing as far as, in team, in drills. And if you're not seeing any type of improvement, it's like, Dad, well, shoot, man, Coach, what we going to do? This is where we are. This is where this guy's at. You're only going to get what you're going to get out of this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So pick your poison. What you want to do? So that's why Andy says, not yet.
Yeah. Let's
figure out what these guys are.
Yeah. I mean, it's a temporary situation, hopefully. But, these guys, whoever takes his left tackle job, and they do a tremendous job, they could be making themselves some good money next year. I mean, to be honest with you, Roderick Johnson, Jerron Christian, even Andrew Wylie, if they take that left tackle position and they look good in it, they're going to earn themselves some money. So, I hope the best for any of these guys who takes that left tackle position. I mean, barring Orlando Brown continues this into the season, but I guess we'll see as the days go.
I'm just laughing because I'm just inside joking, like, okay, he's gonna make some good money, but Veach is gonna be hard on him.
maybe not in Kansas City, maybe
not in Kansas City. Hey, Veach is not going. That's one thing. Hey, I will say this: we got some consistency here, and that's Veach. Veach is consistent in what he does and how he negotiates, and you can't hate the guy for it. I love it. That's something like I'm gonna be firm in where I'm at. Hey, take a couple of new cleats and we'll clean your car. That's what you're going to negotiate. What do you think?
Well, it's funny. You're right. Because, if you were Tyreek Hill and you were taking it personally, I know it's different situations, but if you were Tyreek Hill, you were taking it personally. Like, man, Veach got something against me, man. He didn't give me top dollar. Then you look at this Orlando Brown situation. All right. And then you look at the Melvin Ingram situation where we offered $4.5 million. He took $5 million to go to Miami. It's like, okay, at least I see something. I see a trend here,
Right. Yeah. Like, and then it's not personal. It ain't me. That's Veach. Veach is doing that. Very Veachy. Veach is coming in very Veachy, man. He's frugal.
Hey, he'll help people earn some money though. You give a guy the Orlando Brown situation is happening, but Roderick Johnson steps up. He does all right. Veach has earned you a big paycheck with your next destination. So
that's right. Right. Yeah, be thankful for that. Right. I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. Yeah.
He did it for Emmanuel Ogbah. He picked him up when everyone wanted to throw him away as a bust. We brought him in. He had a lot of sacks that year, and then he ends up getting a big contract elsewhere. So it works out for some of these guys. These guys who are hungry.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.